Oh, wait.
I
Pop.
died of cringe, and Jasmine danced to that song in public.
It's so good.
It is, but I was also like, please stop. I don't know her.
It's so good.
Could it be pop, pop, pop?
Hello. Sorry, guys. I am an idiot and I'm trying to figure this out. That's my bad. Because I'm not really a streamer, to be honest. Man, I don't know how any of this works. There was a thing here where I could put the chat right here, but I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. That was my doc, right? Oh. If I do that, okay. There we go. YouTube chat. Wow. That's cool. Okay. Oh, wow. Thank you, the big one. You're the big one.
How many millions did your video cost?
How many millions did my video cost? Well, that's actually a good question. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for being here on our live stream. This is a Q&A to answer any questions. Like you said, answer any questions that the fans may have. If I look to the side, it's because I got my other monitor over here where all my questions are actually going to be. So just forgive me for constantly going like this over and over again because, yeah. Anyways, so first question, all right? How many millions did our videos cost? Well, I don't have millions at all. So, and I'm pretty certain Cameron doesn't have millions either.
No.
So I think in total, over the course of 4 years, because we started around 4 years ago, and when we started, it was just like I had never met Cameron before, and I just made a post on Facebook. It's like, hey, I want to do this. Is there any cosplayers who want to join in? And then now he's just this idiot who's in my life. But but it was about over the course of 3 or 4 years. It's about 16,000.
Was it really that much?
It was really that much, $16,000, which seems like a lot, right? But over the course of 4 years, it was a little more manageable. I want to say about 10,000 of it has come out of my pocket, and then the other was Patreon support. So, which I'm so grateful for because probably wouldn't have been able to do as much as we did without it. But yeah, so about 16,000 for part 1 and half of part 2. So thank you. That was a good question. So
before we go any further,
go ahead. Sorry.
I want to make sure because are the audios fine? Can everybody hear us? Because I have the live stream up and I don't hear it myself. No one has said anything about there not being audio. I just want to make sure though.
I'm asking in the chat. I didn't even think to check. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool. So does it take place before or after the Great Rift? Are you talking about the post Cadia destruction? I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
I think he's talking about maybe the cicatrix maledictum, however you say it.
Yeah. Is that what you're referring to? The destruction of Cadia and then like the crazy ass rift that went through the warp?
Yeah, that's what they mean.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, so that was something that a lot of people had questions about, was like the 70 years after the destruction of Cadia. So yes, more or less. The idea was that as they're in warp transit from Cadia, right? They departed from Cadia to go put down this rebellion of an agri world, and so more or less they while they're in transit, right? Because warp travel kind of varies for a lot of different reasons. In my head canon, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, Cameron, it can take up to 1 to 2 years, depending on if everything goes correct. And sometimes it's months, depending on the distance, I suppose. But my idea is that they were 1 to 2 years in transit. It was supposed to be a 1 to 2 year journey, and while they're in transit, the attack on Cadia happens, which creates the massive rip after the destruction of Cadia, right? After the pylons were destroyed. And it causes this massive warp storm that makes them basically off course, and that's what takes them so long to get out of the warp, because for them, it's 1 to 2 years in the warp, but outside in real space, it was 70 years, right? And that's happened several times in the lore that, you know, a ship will go in and then appear sometimes hundreds of years later out of the warp. There was one that was like 1,000-year difference, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember what book that was from, but I do remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember which book it is either, but I know for sure there was one fleet of Imperial ships that went through the warp, and they just came out 1,000 years later. So that's
problem solved, or you know, they never made it in time, but hey, they made it.
They did make it. They did make it.
Hey guys, we're helping.
So that was my thought process, anyways. And the other thing is, like, from what I understand, when fleets are going, the more ships that are in transit, the better. I believe that's how it works. And so basically, in my headcanon, some ships got lost. So they don't even have the full force with them because of all the crap that went on. There are some ships that went back in time, yes. Let me take the next question. Let me see.
Did we use stop motion for the Layman Russ, or was it pure animation?
That was pure animation. So there was a guy named either Imperial Commissar or Lord Commissar on the YouTube channel. He's a subscriber. He messaged me on Discord, asked if he could help, and I said, I really need a Lehman Russ tank model. And then he made the model, and he did such a fantastic job with it. So after that, I rigged it and textured it and created the scene in Blender. So it is all animated. Yeah, it's all animated. So I really...
Imperial Commissar is his name. I'm going to drop a link to his...
Yes, thank you.
Profile.
Thank you. Imperial Commissar, thank you. But yeah, that guy did a fantastic job making that Lehman Russ tank. Let's see. What is another question we got? Will Commissar Yarrick make an appearance?
Man, as much as I would love to see Yarrick on screen, get the old man out there.
Dude, that would be nuts. He's not going to, but that would be really cool. I mean, could you imagine the giant claw?
Do we have? I haven't kept up with the Angron lore with the newest stuff, but do we have confirmation that Angron did kill Yarrick?
I think I saw a comment on the Reddit yesterday talking about that, and I think
it's got the skull with the red eye. You know, it's.
I think people are saying that yes, but I'm not gonna say definitively that that's true or not.
Right.
That would be so sad.
Would, but if anyone's gonna kill Yarrick, I'm actually okay with it being Angron.
Yeah, yeah. If he's, I thought it would be an orc, to be honest, that did it. But
no orcs, no mushrooms bringing him down.
No, they're too scared of him. But yeah, no, he won't be making it.
Let's see, what's our next question? So we got Yarrick. What's the next one?
Will orcs make an appearance? No. So a lot of reasons as to why, but the main reason is I just don't see a practical way without CGIing it. And
you don't want me to go through the process of making some prosthetics and all that? We can go old school Lord of the Rings here.
Man, that would be, if we had like a multi-million-dollar budget, sure. But that's not the case. Will there be Krieg boys? As much as Janovich, a YouTuber who is the Kriegest of all Krieg boys, would love that. there will be no Krieg boys making a presence in the show. They are all Cadians. George Lee says it is unconfirmed. So that is a thing.
You know, that's kind of the way it goes with a lot of 40K lore. It's everything's true, everything's a lie. So it's always open ended.
That is true, actually. That is actually a great way to explain 40K lore.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool to see Ogryns and other human auxiliaries.
Hey, we know a couple big guys.
We do know some
I'm
big
throwing
guys.
it at them. Hey, you should cosplay an Ogryn or something.
What would be really cool is to see a ratling. You know?
Do I know anybody that short?
It would be pretty dope to have a ratling.
We could probably just get your son.
I mean, he's 6. He'll do anything. I think Yorick is dead and might return as a saint.
Dude, man, if he came back as a saint,
that'd be terrifying.
That'd be awesome, man. I'd love it.
Are you guys concerned with Games Workshop causing a problem for you guys? So, I get this question a lot, and I'm in a Discord with a bunch of 40K creators, some pretty big names that y'all know, because back when the whole GW thing went down, Legio Symphonica, who is a pillar of the 40K community, and most people don't even realize just how much of a pillar he is. He got everybody together to basically address concerns about that, right? And we talked. He was there were people that were in communication with GW. How I understand it, and take this with a grain of salt, I am not worried. I think GW knows that they made a mistake when they first started this whole thing with creators, and I don't think they're going to be causing a problem or rocking that boat, right? And I don't want to talk too much about it, but my end statement for that is that no, I don't think we're going to be concerned. If anything happens, I will post it immediately and talk about it, but I doubt anything will.
You know, and to go off of that, you know, we're creating essentially free content for GW. It's building up a lot of excitement. There's a similar thing that I'm involved with. I'm a member of the 501st Legion. We're a Star Wars costuming group, and there's always a lot of fear that Disney will shut down people who make these costumes. You know, people are actually making kits for other people. Honestly, Disney's not going after them. It's never going to happen, you know. And we also have a great relationship with them. Now, I'm not speaking as a leader of the 501st. I'm just a member. So, you know, again, also take my word with a grain of salt. But I don't think that's ever going to happen where they'll ever come after us, you know, for the 501st versus Disney. I don't think that would ever happen. I feel like the same thing will happen here with Warhammer content creators. You know, there's been a bit of backlash on GW's part, but ultimately I don't think they're really going to shut them down.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Somebody asked a little bit ago, would there be Ogryns or abhumans? No, there won't be. As much as I would love to, the costuming costs would be probably 2 to 3 times more than we've already spent on costumes. Thank you, big one. That have we talked to the dude who makes us starties? No, we have not. I can't say too much about it. I know I can't. You know, I'm just not going to answer that question too much. But the answer is no. I have not talked to him. Will Joshua? How are you doing? Joshua is the guy. Is one of the guardsmen that you see in the ending. He actually, the day we were shooting, he was running and he fell into water. We felt so bad about it. But Joshua is a great guy. And to answer your question, Joshua, and you will be seeing Joshua in future episodes. Anyways, Joshua, me and Legio Symphonica, we had a live stream the day we were finalizing the audio, and we had that question, like, should we add a Wilhelm scream? And we went back and forth on it, and ultimately I left it up to him, and he decided not to do it. But it was it was almost there. We almost put in the Wilhelm
Maybe we
scream.
should do a blooper reel and we can throw it in there.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny actually. And then this guy,
There's
moral
a lot of
support.
bloopers.
Moral support's that guy that doesn't put on his helmet whenever he's dropping into a combat zone. But no, yeah. So you've seen his face a lot in the part 1. So and you will definitely be seeing him more as well.
Are we gonna let the guy that broke all the guns back in?
That's the guy. That's him. That's Jesse.
Yeah.
That's Jesse
Yeah.
right there. He broke all the guns.
All of them.
Like literally,
So,
we'd give him a gun, and then like he'd break it within 5 minutes of him holding on to it. Like
So,
it was
like,
nuts.
let's go into that first day of shooting out in the field where we brought all the costumes, all the props out. Just before that, I had actually just been in like a near-death car accident, and I was severely concussed. And I'm still there, building and painting weapons. Seth comes over and he's helping me finish them up. I probably shouldn't have been there that day we're filming.
Probably
I
not.
probably should have stayed home, stayed in bed.
Probably just should have not
But
gone anywhere.
I stayed in the van and all day weapons are coming to me to be fixed, and we're just jury rigging them back together because this guy kept breaking them.
Oh man. Asked
It was-
you to
it
do
was
stunts,
awful.
but didn't ask you to break everything.
Yeah, and it was, broken torso armor, shoulder pads,
Oh man.
every last gun.
No, it was a super fun. It was a super fun day.
Yeah.
Appreciative of Jesse being
Yeah.
there. Even
And
though,
now, with all that happening, there actually is a silver lining to it. So, I have, made a lot of props, a lot of costumes, but I never made anything that was really meant to be like stunt tested. It's all convention stuff, cosplay competition stuff. Nothing that's meant to be like super durable and can be, thrown around like that. But now because of that, I've learned a lot of new tricks, a lot of new techniques that can make better weapons and armor that can withstand a room temperature IQ. Sorry, man. Don't break it. Okay. Just
breaks every time. Every time breaks.
oh man.
So George Lee asks, is chaos an underlying cause for the Agri World's rebellion? I don't want to answer that question because spoilers.
Yeah.
I will
absolutely.
tell you that everything is admissible in 40K. So I would love to answer your question. I just don't want to spoil anything. So, but it's a great question. It's a great question. This is why we can't have nice things.
Not at all, dude. Not at all.
Yeah, we can't have nice things at all. So yeah, is there any other what are some more questions you have? Because we're going to be here until 1:00. So if you've got other questions, please ask us in the chat, and I'm looking at it right now, so I will take a peek and we can talk about it.
And while we're waiting for questions to come in, is there anything you didn't touch on in your last video? Any like fun facts about what you did that you want to touch on?
You know what? There is actually. So couple things that I've seen people say is there's two questions, like why did it take so long?
Yes.
And why there was some other questions and I can't remember.
But that's a good one. Why did it take so long?
That is a good question.
On the announcement about 3.5, almost 4 years ago.
Yeah, well, we did the first teaser thing 4 years ago, or I guess YouTube says it's 3 years ago, but it feels longer than that.
Well, I think we made the announcement about 4 years ago, saying, "Hey, this is going to happen."
Right.
But that was really just us meeting and talking about it. Like, what do we want to do?
Yeah, that's true.
So
and then
still
COVID,
early concept stages.
and COVID happened, and that put
Yeah.
COVID really. I would say COVID shaved a year off.
I would agree.
The time that
I would agree.
that we would have been able to do stuff. COVID really just messed everything up. And the other thing is, like, my hope was that I would find people who would help that were better than me to help with the CGI, and that didn't really happen. So
Because you had to learn a lot on your own.
yeah, so what happened is that we weren't getting people to come help us with CGI, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it all myself. And so all the 3D modeling except for the tank, and the VFX, the keying, the rotoscoping, everything post production except this Lehman Russ tank and the audio was all done by me. So that's a lot of the reason why. And I had to learn new stuff. I basically taught myself Blender within the time we've been making uh, this whole fan project, because, and I've learned like the last, I want to say like 8 months, I have exploded in my knowledge of learning on Blender. It's getting pretty awesome. I feel like I'm very comfortable with Blender now, and I'm getting better and better each day. So
Hmm.
I'm applying that to future episodes, but that's part of the reason why. And the other thing was like I kept going back and redoing stuff because I learned something new, and I'd be like, "Ooh,
Hmm.
let's go! I'm gonna redo this shot, like this Lehman Russ tank shot that's on my screen right
Yeah.
now. That was not the original thing. This came like 2 months ago. Like I literally redid it 2 months ago,
Yeah.
um, and that's part. That was a good. That's a good one though.
Yeah. And
Go
I
ahead.
went back and I watched some of the old footage you had sent me, a year ago, 2 years ago. And one of them you talked about in your last video was about like the interior of the Valkyrie.
Yep.
And I can definitely see like a progression in your skill level as you're, teaching yourself how to use this software.
And the interior of the Valkyrie is the one that makes me so upset too, because
Hmm.
I wish I had gone back and just re-rendered everything in cycles, fixed the volumetric lighting, and remodeled some of the tech and retextured the entire thing. But I would have spent an extra month, maybe 2 months doing that,
Hmm.
and we just needed to move on and get this
Yeah.
out and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, hey, you could always just redo it for the future episode and just not say anything. Hey, why'd the Valkyrie interior change?
yeah,
It didn't change. What are you talking about?
that's more or less what's
Just
gonna
retcon
happen.
it.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Um, so we did have one question that came in before we moved on that we missed. Can you reveal the shooting locations and would you accept volunteers?
So yeah, so we live in Texas, DFW.
Specifically North Texas.
Yeah, specifically DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, North Texas. We went to parks. We went to public
Bunch of people
parks.
giving us weird looks.
Oh yeah, there were some weird looks. We went to public parks and shot, and yes, we are taking volunteers. If you
Did
live,
Tom come by one time? Like I can't remember.
wait, who?
Or no, it was just a concerned parent. But
Yeah, some
I
parent
think
like,
there was like fear that they might call the cops.
yeah, there was that fear. But yeah, if you live in the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth area, and you want to participate, um, if you if you go to the Facebook, comment on there. I need to figure out. You know what? I'm probably gonna open up the Discord,
I think that'd be
completely,
fine.
and that's what I'll probably do. I'm gonna make a community announcement on YouTube, and I'm gonna open up the Discord, and we'll put a volunteer section in there, if anybody wants to volunteer.
Great,
So
great. Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe we can work up a form that they can fill out, so we can use like an application process for that.
that's a real great idea. Actually, that's a good idea.
All right.
Rick is asking some costume questions.
Yes. So, asking about where one can find guard armor, templates for foam or 3D printing. So there is actually a Warhammer 40,000 cosplay forum called Obscurus Crusade. I'll go and drop a link to that
It's a good idea.
in the chat right now. Grab that. And in there is where I just found a lot of inspiration on other people's builds. I believe somebody in there even dropped templates that they made that are based off the guardsman armor from the old Space Marine game.
Oh, that's cool.
Starting out, yeah, I downloaded those just to get an idea of like the general geometry of everything. But from there, I've been just made my own templates that I felt like would be it would work better for mass production and for filming. Um, so yeah. So the templates we use for the films are my own templates, but there are some that are available within the Obscurus Crusade forum that I dropped there.
Yeah.
Next question. We have
Joshua.
Joshua. I'm scrolling if you got it. Okay, with the success of part 1, have you seen a major increase in Patreon members?
So, yes, not a major increase, I would say. We went from
But a small bump?
small bump. We went from 11 Patreons to 23. So
Hey, actually,
that's
that's pretty good.
double. That's double. Like $2 to $5 donations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say yes, we've had an increase. I would not say a major increase.
Right.
But every little bit counts, and every bit of it goes to buying props. And one of the things that I know is going to be a major purchase, and I'm probably at the end of the month going to go talk to the guy about it. Without giving too much away, I need to go buy a airplane seat from a junkyard, airplane junkyard that I found. Yep. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be like an $800 or $1,200 purchase, maybe more. So yeah, that is rough, but.
And then we're gonna build around that just to get some more, solid.
Got to buy some lumber to make the
Man, if only you knew someone who had all those tools.
Yeah, me. I got all those. No.
And me.
Yeah, me and Cameron will work and figure out. And I think Cade's also really excited about this part too, because he's really about the whole like practical part of it. And
yeah,
I think
I love that.
With all three of us, we'll be able to make a really cool interior cockpit.
Mm-hmm. I'm really happy with the mix of both practical and CGI approach that we're taking with this. A lot of people didn't like them, but I personally loved the Star Wars sequel films. And looking back at The Force Awakens, when you start seeing all the practical effects that they included in like those opening scenes on Jakku, man, I was in love. I was so happy to see that. Even the dumb bird that we see just like pecking at a piece of metal,
Yeah.
I loved it.
There were some great visuals on those movies. There is no denying that at all. They had some fantastic visuals. Will there be a perspective from the trader side? That is something I have thought about a lot, and I do want to do something. I don't have it planned out yet. I've thought about it quite a bit. I think it'd be really cool to do like a side video that's not a part of the series, that's like from that perspective that you're talking about. I might try to explore that for sure. That is something I've definitely thought about.
Yeah, could be interesting. Like a little mini episode type thing.
Yeah, like just something that's not a part of the series, but is a part. Yeah.
Next question: will there be extreme graphic violence in your videos since this is 40K?
More or less.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
I was gonna say, maybe what we can do based off the skill sets that we have to do practically, with makeup artists that we're working with, possibly, yeah.
That is the big deal right there. Is what can we do practically, and what can we do with what we have, right? So we're limited, obviously, by budgetary concerns and what's practical, but as much as we can add, I would like to add, because it is 40K. It's grim dark. It's bloody. It's war, and like I said, as much as we can practically do. And I know a couple of, actually, Talmadge's wife is she's actually really good at that stuff.
She is.
And so, and there's another girl I know who does it, and she might be the best ever. So budgetary concerns is really the only roadblock.
Right, because these are people who have a skill set they do want to pay for their expertise. And that doesn't always come cheap.
And
we want to make sure that they are fairly compensated. Like, we don't want to cheap out on it. Say, we're friends. No, I don't want to do that.
And Wendy, the girl I know, she's super expensive. And I paid that for one of my films, and I got exactly what I paid for, and it was fantastic.
And that's one of the things, is you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
But aside from practical effects, and the first episode, those last couple scenes that are blacking out, with that little teaser of a fight, and you see the female guardsman just blast the guy with a bolt pistol. There's a bit of CGI gore and viscera that Seth is able to do.
Yeah.
A lot of that will be probably good blood splatter and people getting blown up.
and that scene, that's a scene I'm probably gonna go back and redo, because I edited that a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it needs some love.
Yeah, your skill set has definitely improved since then.
Yeah.
Not to say that it was bad.
It could be better though.
This is good.
Yeah.
But it could be better.
Let's see. What about a perspective from the side of people or PDF that remained loyal when the agri world went rogue? That would be super cool.
That would be it. Kind of like going with how they're going with the Last of Us series right now. They're doing a lot of these like little side stories as well. We're getting a little more perspective from people who in the game were just NPC, no name people. Enemies. They're just a roadblock in the story. But now we're seeing their perspective on things.
Yeah.
They're still terrible people, but now we see a little bit about their own lives. Trying not to go into too much spoiler, obviously, but it's a nice little change of pace as opposed to the game.
I think that would be super cool to do something like that. Like I said before, I think we just need to sit down and think what's reasonable, what's practical, and what is still going to be interesting. So those are the things we got to think about whenever we're thinking about things like that. Question: might we get an appearance from a Primarch? No.
Hey, but the Arcs of Omen are teasing a bunch of stuff.
I
We got the Tree of Life. Hey, that's Russ right there. And then we have the obvious Dark Angel. The Lion's gonna come back.
Dude,
It's gonna happen.
I'm super excited about the Lion coming back.
I'm not. I want my Dorn. I need my husband.
Yeah.
I need Dorn to come back.
Yeah. So
with or without hand, I don't care.
Yeah. What were some of the lessons learned initially from the original props to where y'all are at now in terms of knowledge?
Yeah. So with the like the las guns, before I was, one example there is I was just using like a PVC pipe as kind of like the spine that ran through the whole thing that was slipping various parts of the body onto, like the muzzle, the main body of the las gun, the stock, and other parts like that. And even though I thought, okay, let me at least rough up the PVC pipe so that the glue and everything has something to bite into and really adhere to. It's really, when it comes to stunt work, it's still a cylindrical piece, and things can still break off and rotate and then slip off. And that was the problem that we're having on that first day of filming, where muzzles are breaking off constantly. The whole PVC pipe would slip out, and so we ended up like wrapping it in duct tape to stuff it in there, really make it secure. Since then, I've put a little more thought into making like registration keys, stuff that keeps stuff in place and preventing it from rotating. Maybe even switching away from a PVC pipe, maybe getting some like metal squares that can be in there that keep it locked in place. Just stuff like that to prevent props from breaking again. As far as like armor, we had some cracked shoulder pads. I kind of like the idea of them, breaking on set and then just doing a field repair and then continuing to use that. I might invest a little more time into, say, installing fiberglass to add a little more durability to them. Because again, at the time, I didn't anticipate them being as rough with them, because I was still in the mindset of an average cosplayer who makes stuff that looks great but isn't actually practical, usable.
Yeah. And you didn't anticipate Jesse.
I mean, I anticipated some damage. It's like, come on, I use my brain a little bit. I use at least 2 brain cells in that case. But when we added Jesse into the mix, man, I wasn't prepared.
You broke so many props. Yeah, that was a good question, Joshua. Chill Turtle, nice to see you as always. And Orlando Enriquez, have you ever considered making short videos in the style of memes for extra content for viewers and to gain more publicity? So
Could
That's
be the
not.
blooper reels.
Yeah, the blooper reels are probably the best bet. I probably will make some shorts for that specific reason. Um, but as far as other
Oh,
content goes, right?
I
Uh,
got an idea.
okay. Go, yeah, let me finish
So
this. Go. You know what? Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No,
Go.
you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you.
Finish your thought, sir. I insist. Okay, I'll go. I'll go.
Yeah.
So in the first episode, and previously, so the main actor that we have in this series, he keeps getting referred to as Shia LaBeouf in various forms. Wish.com Shia LaBeouf, Shia LaBeouf,
Shia
etc.
LaBeouf.
Yeah, I love that one. I still need to compile all of those comments into one big banner
It's so
and
good.
force him to put that on his Facebook.
It's so good.
I love it. So maybe we can run with something like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, residentwitch.com Shia LaBeouf.
I want to make him T-shirts and just gauge his
Oh
reaction by
man,
giving him T-shirts of like screenshots of the comments, and just
dude,
like
there's that app you can take two people's faces and like morph them together to see like what their child would look like. I might put them together.
that'd be great. So the other thing is that I'm actually working on other content that's non 40K related for the channel, and if you look back a couple months ago, I had made that decision, and even in streams, whenever the GW stuff was going down, based on not just advice I got from a lawyer I talked to, but also Legio Symphonica and other 40K content creators. I want the channel to survive. If the worst case scenario happened, making non 40K content is the way to make it survive, right? I don't want all this work that we've put into this to just be erased one day. And so if you look at the channel update, it's a video a couple months back. I go over the things we're working on, which is a original sci-fi series, sci-fi horror series I'm working on, and also working on a D&D 5e game. And so that is, and like the Patreons, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get early access to it. I'm going to make it available to the public for free. But that is ways that I'm not only trying to make income for the channel so we can buy more stuff, but also keep the channel going and alive. And I plan on doing a whole like series of videos based on the D&D game to add more content to the channel. So those are things I'm working on, and I have a feeling there are some people who say, well, it's not 40K. I get it, but it is what it is. If I want to survive, if I want to continue to make these videos, these 40K, if I want to continue to the 40K videos, if I want to continue to have Asteria alive, if I want the financials in order to make that happen, I have to come up with more content to make it work. So that is just the reality of the situation.
And sometimes, you might just need to work on a different project just to refresh your palette,
I'm not gonna lie, it working on this sci-fi horror series, just because I did that, I'm learning character modeling.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember that monster.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
and that is something that I can use in Asteria. So that's a good point. That's a fantastic point, actually. We just learned so much, right?
Mm-hmm. I keep thinking about the concept idea that I threw at you a long time ago about doing like a guardsman Dead Space type of video,
Oh, I still want to do that too. I
have so many ideas for different, props and
that one
Tyranid models I can make out of foam,
I forgot about that too. That would be so sick. I would.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Keep that. We'll keep that on the on the board.
That is on the board. And I love Ridley Scott's Alien. So
yeah, like mix Alien and Dead Space type of horror, together.
Oh my god. Okay, so let's see. We got some more questions.
Will there be tech priests for the Mechanicas in general?
Oh, Mechanicus General.
The Mechanica cousin.
So I play tabletop Mechanicus.
Do you?
Shut up.
We've played one game in 4 years.
I know. I need to. This Asteria has taken up a lot of my hobby time. Like
it really has.
And like when I'm not doing stuff with my family or working, I'm on my computer blendering or doing this or stuff for the channel. So I told Cameron like just the other day that I'm gonna rebuild. So what is that night called? It's been a while. It's one of the Forge World Knights. It's the Mechanicus specific Forge World Knight
Don't
that I
ask me
have.
to scroll through that chat because that thing is miles
I
deep,
know. I can't
and that was
think of
only
the
two
name of
days
it.
ago.
I used to have that on. It's the knight with the black hole gun, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But I have one of those, and it's a
Oh,
Forge World model.
you're talking about Horizon from Apex.
No, but I have one of those, but my wife broke it, and so Cameron was like, "When am I going to get to play the toasters again?" I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna have to put that bad boy together," and lose very badly to Cameron again.
Very badly.
Because it was really bad last time.
But to be fair, you lean more into like the narrative style gameplay, whereas like
I do.
I'm definitely more like I'm not going to LVO, I'm not doing anything like that, but I definitely play more like friendly competitive at least, you know.
He plays sweaty, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I play sweaty with I played sweaty with my fourth edition Black Templars for how many years?
Yeah. So that is a good question. No, the answer is no. There won't be Mechanicus boys because the as much as I would love to do it, the costumes alone and the CGI that would have to be in place with it, we would need a really big budget to make it work, and it's just not within the cards right now. As much as I would love to. So Nofix Givens, I like seeing the normal humans or low-ranking troops become heroes to then have some Inquisitor censure everything, even though he knows that they are the only reason for the victory. Well,
Right.
the good of the Imperium. So
That's the way it goes. It would be kind of cool to like end the whole series with everyone dies, and it turns to like an Inquisitor doing like the final log in the computer, like kind of like an alien speaking to Mother type thing,
that would be pretty cool, actually.
And
Do you remember the ending of the Space Marine game?
of course,
I thought to myself, well, he's dead.
right? We're not seeing him again.
Yeah, I really thought we wouldn't see him again. I really thought that, and here we are seeing him again. It's nuts.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that, dude. So I had friends who aren't even into like 40K at all. They're like they know of it, but they don't care for it. And I had people like them sending me photos, or not photos, the announcement trailer at like 9 p.m. at night. I'm laying in bed because I decided to go to bed early, and I start jumping with joy. I'm like screaming and yelling, oh, it's happening,
Yeah.
My wife's laying down next to me. What's happening,
What are you doing? Yeah.
Oh man, so excited for that.
Then let's see.
Do you guys think you might put the video on other platforms or on your Patreon if you want to do loads of violence and nudity?
Probably not. We'll just keep it on the channel.
Yeah.
If it gets, I don't see the video getting taken down for stuff like violence.
Especially if we mark it as mature content, and
Yeah, I don't see.
follow the guidelines.
I don't see that as a problem.
Now,
to be
nudity,
honest.
I don't think that's going to happen, right?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see a place for that.
There's not. Yeah, I just don't. I don't see it happening in this series. Orlando Enriquez. Let's say hypothetically Henry Cavill approached you guys to help with live action Amazon 40K. What would you do with your channel? Would you continue to put everything on hold?
I feel like that ultimately depend. Like let's say hypothetically that was a serious thing. In reality, it all depends on contracts.
Yeah.
If GW said, "Hey, yeah, we want you, but you have to put this on hold," then that's the reality of it.
So absolutely nothing is a super awesome creator. He's a part of that Discord I'm a part of. He was approached by GW and he said no, and he would have said yes, I think, but he said no because he didn't like the contracts and the terms of the agreements. And that's a perfectly valid reason, but he also was not saying no. He talked with GW. He got in a Discord call with them and discussed terms. And that's perfectly okay. If that happens, I don't even have a good answer for that, I think. I just don't. I don't know. I'd probably take a night to like sit and think about it quite a bit.
To digest it.
To digest it. And I'd call everybody that was involved with the project and like get opinions. And, I just don't know how we would approach it, if I'm honest with you. Because it's just, it feels like it's just so out of reach that it's not even going to happen.
Yeah, but let's live in this hypothetical realm of where it does happen. I think it ultimately, like you mentioned about the other content creator, it all depends on what the contract is offering.
Right.
It's a job essentially is what it is.
Yeah.
And as with any employer, when you're interviewing for a new job, you 9 times out of 10 don't want to accept their initial offer, of what they're willing to pay you.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got to negotiate it, and a lot of times they hope that you don't negotiate. And I've been in that position where I took a job without negotiating, and I realized, oh, I'm getting screwed.
Yeah, and the other thing is like making live action 40K. That's like all I want to do. So I don't know. It's such a hypothetical. It's hard for me to give a good answer. But yeah, Cameron's also right. It would depend on what the terms look like. Question from Krieg Guardsman: will there be
the beginning of the rebellion?
The beginning, the rebellion fighting the Adeptus Arbites.
Man.
So there was a question earlier. I don't know if it was you or not that was asking like, are we going to see the perspective of the Traitor Guardsman or the Traitor PDF or like the beginnings of the rebellion or stuff like that? And I think we had said earlier it would be really cool to do like a little side series about Asteria pre-rebellion or the mix of the rebellion or like something going on, and that I think that encompasses the same thing. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to show those like rioting and like the Adeptus Arbites like fighting against the rioters and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that falls within that category. That it's something we're looking into doing a little side note kind of thing, narratively. So
would be cool.
That would be super cool.
If anything, it'd be cool to at least do like a still frame,
Yeah.
With like someone like do like the narrative, talking about the rise of the rebellion, stuff like that,
That would be cool, actually. That would be
like,
super
and then
sick.
that could be like some like the YouTube shorts. That's like an idea there.
Yeah, that is actually a good idea. There's a lot of stuff that we can do with that, and I am thinking about it and I am exploring it, but we haven't made any solid plans.
Yeah.
All
right.
Go ahead.
Idea: Tech Priest or Inquisitor or Death Watch shorts, where they test weapons versus various Xenos, and some are formal training / propaganda videos, RoboCop / Starship Trooper style.
So that is actually something I have given thought, was doing like propaganda videos, but for the Guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be super fun to do. So that's not the worst. I love Starship Troopers. So, what is it they always said? Would you like to know more?
I'm doing my part. Would you like to know more?
Yeah, well, I'm doing my part. I'm doing my
that.
part as they're squashing cockroaches on the ground.
Yeah. And I did have that idea of like another side story that was going to be from the perspective of a Gene Stealer cult, which not saying that's in this, but it was like an idea of like we have this battle going on, and then it turns like like in the Matrix where Neo goes to see the father of the Matrix,
right?
And it kind of like, or even like in the first movie where he meets with the agents the first time, and like the video is like panning back and goes to like a TV screen type effect,
Yeah.
I was thinking like something like that. It's like a security footage type fight. It pans back through a TV screen and it leads to like an obvious like Gene Stealer cult type member sitting at a chair watching, and they have like some kind of like dialogues like the cattle are eating each other, too early or something like that, I had like this idea like it's not meaning we're gonna see Gene Stealer cult, but it's like putting the idea in or planting that seed like, oh, they're there. They're just not ready for their rebellion yet,
Yeah.
It's too early, and the Hive fleet hasn't arrived yet. It was another fun idea I had for that,
Yeah, that would be pretty fun. Big One has 2 questions. Might we get an appearance from the Sisters of Silence? I don't want to do spoilers, so I will say that I can't answer that question.
He is choosing to remain silent.
I'm choosing to be silent, much like the sisters. When you get big and have millions and millions of subs, that is generous, but I don't know if that'll happen. Will you guys give fabulous prizes to us OG fans? So, I am working on getting some screenshot artwork that's going to be free on the YouTube community channel or the Discord, and some that's going to be Patreon exclusive. And then also, so our partner, Evolution Games, right, which is a store here locally to us. It's where I have gamed for years. It's where I really grew my love of the tabletop game. They will probably do giveaways sponsored by them. So if you and to speak of which, if you haven't yet, please go to evolutiongames.com. They have an online store, and they are a local store. If you want to buy something, please buy it from them, because you're supporting local gaming stores, and that is such a big deal as far as like the hobby and stuff like that goes, right? So
And they've been such a big supporter of us. It's a good way for us to send the love back their way.
Yes, please do so. Like I said, evolutiongames.com. There's a link in the description below. Go ahead and order something from that. You guys should sell props and merchandise and make bank. So merchandise is something I've thought about. I don't know. Me, Cameron, and Cade, and Cordell, and everybody are probably gonna have to sit down and like think of like some reasonable ideas as far as that goes. I definitely want to make some T-shirts for Asteria, so T-shirts might be on the horizon. We'll have to make some art for them and stuff like that. So
We'll put Talmadge on a shirt. It's the one where he's running towards the camera at the very end of the first episode.
Yes,
and we'll caption it, "Run for your life. It's Shia LaBeouf."
It's Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He's coming for you.
Coming for your life, Shia LaBeouf. Eating all the bodies. No.
Oh man.
That's so. I love that. So yeah, if it's T-shirts, let me know in the comments if T-shirts is something that sounds like y'all would be interested in, or some kind of other merchandise. Stickers, bracelets, whatever. I have thought about T-shirts, because I want my own Asteria T-shirt.
Dude, yeah, why haven't we done that?
I don't know why. I'm really bad about this whole marketing aspect of it. I'm not a marketer. I forget about it a lot. So you
would think, me being a marketing major, I would step up my game.
Get it together. Get it together.
It's not like I also have my own life, family and a job, and I'm still in school too.
You just do props and play tabletop. That's all you do.
That's all I do. Every Saturday I send to the group chat, "Who's coming over to my house today?" And this guy never responds.
It's not even true. We're literally playing an alien RPG game next weekend, I think.
Is it next weekend?
I don't know. You said something
about
it.
I need to get prepared.
And I responded. So there you go.
All right. So yeah, no, merch would be cool. We'll definitely have to figure that out.
Yeah.
I know like some websites like Redbubble are pretty good. They can just submit designs and we can do that. Yeah. But it's definitely something on the list we should look into.
Yes, it's something we're thinking about.
You should guys sell props. Oh yeah, we covered that. Selling props, that's a lot of work. I used to do that. I actually paid for my wedding that way. I used to sell a lot of prop armor and weapons and stuff like that, STL files. But that's a full-time job on its own.
It really is.
It really is. I was working my day job, and then before I'd go to work, I'd pour resin and cast something, demold it when I get home, pour another, and start sanding stuff, all of that. I mean, it was a second job I was doing nonstop.
It maybe we could do an STL file. That wouldn't be so bad. But we'll probably make it Patreon exclusive if we do.
I do kind of low-key want to redesign everything we've done for the Guardsmen to match up with the new stuff,
That'd be cool.
And again, just retcon it without saying anything.
Well, we've made the announcement before that we're going to be adjusting to improve the series. So I put that under that category.
Yeah, of course.
So, will there be tank battles?
I don't know. I mean, there's a picture above our heads right now.
I don't know.
But is that tank versus tank, though?
There's a tank. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Are they firing at a tank, or it's somebody in a T-shirt, who decided that an uprising was a good idea,
and then realized how absolutely awful that idea was?
The Imperium isn't paying enough for this corn. I'm gonna fight them.
Yeah, I don't want to give spoilers, right? Um, I will. There will kind of be spoilers in a way for because I'm going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff for episode 2, and I've kind of made it apparent that in the other videos that what clips are from episode 2, right? Um, just know, you know what? I will give one spoiler.
Ooh,
Kind of. We are Me and Cameron are coordinating to make an Imperial Navy pilot suit. So
yes.
do with that information what you will. So yeah, have you guys found
We're gonna
any
we're gonna rip
abandoned?
off the entire movie of Top Gun.
I mean, I'm short enough to be Tom Cruise, so. Um, have you guys found any abandoned industrial locations to film at to give the appearance of a war-torn manufacturing? That's going to be something that we address in season 2, right? So after these 3 parts come out, we'll take a break, just like a normal show does, and come back. And that is something I'm looking into for season 2.
That's a big announcement right there. Like season 2, it's
Yeah,
not just gonna be parts 1, 2, and 3. It's gonna be
more.
possibly 4, 5, 6.
As many as we can keep going, really.
Yeah.
We'll keep
Yeah.
going as long as we're able to.
Hmm.
T-shirts, keychains, and some baseball cap. That's a good idea. Would be
Hey,
super
baseball
cool.
cap's pretty cool.
That is a
Yeah.
good question. Will the
I like a baseball cap.
that would be cool. When will the merch be available in Europe? I mean, we will make it available in Europe. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, like if we utilize something like Redbubble or something like that, they normally have it already set up to ship internationally, I believe.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
that yeah, so that's something we can look into.
Um,
When is the next episode coming out? Good question.
I don't want. I
that
don't.
that exasperated sigh.
I don't want to give hard dates.
Yeah.
If I say a date, then if it doesn't make that date, I'm a liar. So I don't want to say hard dates. I'll say this: we don't have the costume put together that we need, and we don't have the pilot seat that I need. We don't have any of that put together yet. We are working towards it, and I think it's a lot. This episode 2, from a practical standpoint, I don't think it's going to take near as much time as the first ones we did, right?
Because the first one we made at least 10 costumes,
Exactly.
a lot of extra props, but then there's also figuring out people who were willing to be a part of it, as far as getting in the costume, finding set locations.
It was a lot.
So there's a lot of build up for the first episode, and a lot of that has already been taken care of now. So filming for the future episodes, I imagine,
Go smoother.
will be smoother, faster, but again, don't want to put a hard date on that. Because ultimately, you're the one doing the most work on it, and you're doing it, in your free time outside of work and your kids and stuff like that. And same with the rest of us who are participating in it.
Yeah, this is not something we do for a full-time job, so
Yeah. Ultimately, our mortgage payments are more important.
I do like sleeping in my bed. That is a thing I like. And do we have a Discord server? I'm gonna make an announcement on the community channel to give public access to the Discord server. So, yeah, just look for that post, and I'll put it on the channel itself so people can join. So just keep an eye out for that. If you're looking to join the Discord, join the community, get a part of the discussion. There's a guy in there named Voin, and he is a huge supporter of the channel, always has been, and he is super welcoming. I need to talk to him about some stuff. But yeah, and so if I will do my best to maintain the Discord community. I hope it becomes its own kind of community itself, and I will participate in when I can. And maybe we can do some like Patreon, Discord only live streams and talk.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool, like a fireside chat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be fun. But yeah, so if you're interested in joining the Discord, I will put a link to that below. Real quick before we go, I want to see if there's any last questions. We'll take 2 more questions if there are any questions. Any other questions?
Is Guardsman 8 making a return? Asks Kenyon.
Guardsman 8. Who is Guardsman 8?
That's Kenyon. That's the guy who asked the question.
Oh, no, I mean like what? So in the titles, I put like the list.
It's my brother-in-law.
Is it really?
It is. It
Is it
is.
Max? Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean Max is nearby.
He
I'm
didn't
sure we
die, so
I'm sure we can convince him to come back.
I mean, I didn't see him in that particular Valkyrie. Maybe he was in the one that got hit.
That's true. He is. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's just gone forever. I don't know. Well,
Gone forever.
that's so funny. Guardsman 8.
Yeah.
uh,
Um.
so just a moment before you leave, I'm getting something. Okay,
Cool. We'll wait for you.
we'll wait.
Um. Yeah. Going back to like the Discord. Were you talking about doing one specifically just for Asteria, or one that's for Havran.Digital as a whole?
It's Havran.Digital as a whole.
Okay.
And then we'll make like, I think I need to like organize the Discord. So we'll make like a chat that's like Asteria only, this
Yep.
only, like text chats and stuff like that. I had somebody help me organize the Discord a long time ago, but it's been a while. So, um, like I said, I'm not the best at this whole being a YouTuber thing. So I forget a lot of times that people like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
my fault. I even like that kind of stuff because I'm a part of a Discord for a game called Nightingale that I'm very active in.
Nightingale.
Yeah, it's a survival game that's coming out. It looks super awesome. It looks steampunky.
Hmm.
It looks really.
Is it anything like Fortnite?
No. What? No.
Okay.
What? Do you ever play The Forest?
The Forest. No, I know it.
It's
I
it,
think I've seen it, but
it's
I
been
haven't played it.
described as like a gas lamp steampunk style The Forest game. So it's pretty cool. Um, might we get an appearance from the Emperor himself? He protects. He do protect.
Man,
Uh,
he's already there. He's already on screen.
he's in your heart. You just got to accept your Lord and Savior, the Emperor of mankind.
Yeah, he's in their hearts. No, he's there. He's helping them. He's picking them up when they fall down.
uh, I don't know if Raven is coming back or not. I saw
Uh,
I saw a comment at some point in time asked me if Havran.Digital had anything to do with Ravens or something like that.
hmm,
And it is. I got the Havran. I didn't actually know it was a Slavic term for Raven, but I got it from the old Brythonic term, which is like Mark Havran, or something like that. Like ancient Brythonic.
okay.
And so, but I like converted it to the Havron, and then Havron was already the name for an Eastern Slavic word for raven, and that was
Hmm,
an accident. So, yeah, Havron means raven.
gotcha.
Ultimately, because my middle name is legally Raven, and so
Hey,
Raven.
Raven.
Hey, thank you. That's what he was doing.
He
He,
protect, he attack, but mostly he killed the heretic.
yeah, that did
The
almost
heretic.
rhyme.
Well, what can we do? He protect, he attack, but mostly he killed the heretic.
There you go. There you go. Thank you so much, Raven. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Every little bit goes right back into
Definitely not
progress.
expected. Like really, like definitely wasn't expected at all.
No, I
But
wasn't either.
thank you, thank you.
We just wanted to do a live stream Q&A and answer questions because there's like 1,600 comments now on the part 1 video.
Yeah,
So that is
it passed up to 500,000 views, right?
oh yeah, it's about to hit 600,000.
Dude, that's so cool.
That is nuts. 600,000.
Hmm.
I don't even I you
I'm
know
not gonna lie. Or you go ahead. You go
no,
ahead.
you go first.
So I'll say, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like the lead up to the release, like this is your project. Like mostly, like I have some part of it because I did make props and costumes with my wife. Um, so I guess I do have a good bit of ownership on it. But it's mostly your project, and I'm not gonna lie. My stomach was like sick. Like when I was waiting for it to go live.
The
I was like.
yeah.
Like no one's gonna watch this. It's gonna get maybe 10,000 views, and it's gonna get ratioed so bad with the thumbs down or
I
knocked down by the YouTube algorithm gods.
Yeah, I messaged Cameron the night before because I was literally vomiting my face off all night long. And I don't know if it was a virus or if it was nerves, but I definitely stayed up for all night long vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely did not expect before it even hit the 10-day marker, which today is actually the 10-day marker, that it would be
Oh,
above 500,000 views.
yeah. Dude,
That
let's get that to 1 million.
I don't even know what I'm gonna do if it hits a
Dude,
million.
like and share it, man.
I
Just
don't know what I'm
everybody
gonna
like it. If you
do.
haven't liked it already, just go in and just like it. That'll get YouTube to keep pumping it up, you
That
know.
is true. For some, yeah, the algorithms are pretty brutal. So the more likes it gets,
Hmm.
it hit 40,000. But
Yeah.
so yes, to answer your question, Raven, I did animate these. I made virtual sets. We did most everything blue screened. Um, I animated the tank. I did not model the tank, but I animated it, textured it, and added all the VFX for it. And the did I fly a real Valkyrie to make this? No, the Valkyrie is a 3D model. I found a STL of a Valkyrie, and it ended up being not great for what I wanted it to be. Um, so I ended up having to I more or less it started off as an STL I got from somewhere, and I modeled it and fixed stuff on it, and like ended up making so much happen on it that it's just not even the same STL it was before.
Yeah. You
So
might as well just start it from scratch
I might as well have, I
and then
honestly
run
it
with
would
it.
have been easier if I had started from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, use the STL as a reference just for like the main geometry, but from there
Yeah,
it's all you, you
I
know.
should have done that. I did texture it as well. The texturing I did as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, most of the VFX, everything you see visually, except for costumes, the modeling of the tank, and the audio, I did. So that's that. You guys are about to blow up more than Nikocado Avocado's body.
Man,
I don't know
man.
how to respond to that.
I almost don't even want to touch that. I don't want to get a reaction video from him, you know.
I don't either. I mean, maybe the publicity would be good, but I don't. I also just don't want that for my own sanity.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Will there be dogs, or in 40K terms, canes? No, but I do love a good doggo.
Yeah, doggos are great.
Doggos are great, and they would be the bestest of boys. But there will be no 40K dogs,
My wife
unfortunately.
wants us to get another dog. Because we lost our dog a little over a year ago. She passed away from lymphoma, and but our baby loves dogs. You know, our her sister has a dog, her parents have a dog, and every time she sees them, she's like belly laughing. So
Yeah,
that's a conversation we've had,
I
and
love the
I
belly
don't know if
laughs.
we're gonna do it yet, but because I'm not quite ready. But
Yeah. Uh,
it's it's there.
yeah. You must add Ogrins. I don't know if we're going to. It's a lot
Yeah.
of it's a lot of
If,
work.
if we do it again, I know we know two guys who match the profile.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll be too difficult to get them on screen. At least to convince them to do it to get suited up.
Yeah. I
And I can
just
already visualize like how to do the arm. Like my gears are already turning, but I'm not making any promises.
yeah, I just don't know how practically
Right.
if something changes in the financial situation of the channel, we'll talk about it for
Yeah.
sure.
Probably not.
Um,
Probably not a face character. Just a little bit of quick scene. And if anything.
oh, so I'm Raven brings up something. We're not doing Krieger reinforcements like Krieg Garsman asked, even though I know Krieg Garsman. I'm so sorry. It breaks my heart that you won't get to see Krieger boys. Um, but there also is like absolutely nothing. And who else is the other guy? Vrax, the guy who does Vrax.
Mhm.
He's doing some cool stuff. So
Yeah. Check
go
them out
go check them out. And
if you haven't already.
Janovich too. He's a Krieg. He's Krieg 9000. Like
Yeah.
um so
Personality type Krieg.
yeah.
Um,
um
are
but
all battles going to be during the day?
no. And I don't want to elaborate more, but the answer is no. It will not be all during the day.
If there are night battles, will they be brighter than Game of Thrones, the Battle for Winterfell?
Oh man. They get
I
so
personally
much.
had no problem with it, but man, the internet was lit.
Yeah. I personally also had no problem with it because I thought it was so cool. It was to me it felt like suffocating because you could
Yeah,
see nothing.
yeah, yeah,
Which is how medieval knight battle would probably go. Um, but yeah, no, you got to put a deceiver or something for the enemies. If the enemy is chaos, that would be epic.
Dude, we already have the deceiver, and that's me. So little backstory, like I'm first getting to know Seth, and he's sending me like the first trailers or different clips.
I hate
I
this
don't know
story.
what it is, but the intrusive thought took over. I just responded back saying I can't hear anything. Is there audio with this? Like just like ask him, hey, is there audio supposed to be with this? And he goes back like, yeah, it's supposed to be. He checks the video, re-uploads it like twice. Cause I kept telling him I can't hear anything. And man, I kept that joke going for a while, and I kept
Man,
getting you with that one.
it was like 30 or 45 minutes into me going back and forth, doing exports, losing my mind, and then
Yeah.
finally his wife goes, "He's messing with you," and I was like, I exported it so many times trying to fix it.
But you say that like she was only on your side.
Oh, I
Eventually,
know.
she
She
did
was
it
sitting
too.
there watching. She sat and
Yeah.
watched the whole time.
Eventually, she did the same. Joshua with the $20.
Joshua, thank you
Dude,
so much.
I
That
shall
was
bring forth the Imperial Infantryman's uplifting primer again. I think I've got 2 copies of that still. I know I got one over there, but
Joshua brought that on set, and
did he really?
I really that's one of the things. That's the clip that I keep thinking about because Joshua brought it on set, and Cordell was like, "Let's get a shot of them reading the manual." And I don't know why we did it, but we did, and it's so funny. And I really want to use like the thing we were talking about, the shorts with the propaganda videos. We're definitely going to use that at some point in time, Joshua, and that specific clip is going to be in there because that was just so funny that you brought that, and I loved it.
That'd be cool.
Only if you want to answer non-Asteria question, is Cadia your favorite Red Guard regiment? And if you would do another live action, which would you do? Okay,
We had a conversation about this like 2 days ago.
we literally did.
I was so mad that we didn't take advantage of this.
So for me, Cadia is what I started off with when I had my first 40k army. I bought an Imperial Guard army, and it was because Mechanicus didn't exist at the time. And I saw Cadian, I had the codex, and I read it all, and I was like, I chose Cadian because I just liked the whole aesthetic and stuff like that. And so that Cadia is my favorite, but there's also a lot of really cool guardsmen. And then Cameron the other day, so you go ahead.
Talar.
Yeah.
Talarn Desert Raiders, man. So I'm working on some Talarn right now, mixing the current guard kits with some 3D printed STLs I found from someone who goes by the name of like Lizard Overlords, and he makes a bunch of different like alternate sculpts. I really like his Talarn torsos. They have the heads attached to them already, so it's kind of like a downside. I'd prefer it be a little more modular, but they still look great. So I printed off like 50 torsos in the last couple of days. But I was saying, like, man, why didn't we use this as an opportunity to go to the beach? Like, let's go to Padre Island and just film there.
So if we do, if it's so like maybe like the Asteria show, maybe we have a break after season 1, and how depending on how successful season 1 is, if we that was weird. If we do another one, I think Talarn is on the table.
Think so.
I think Talarn, because he said it, and then my idea wheels started turning, and I was like, oh man, that would be really cool. I'm a huge fan of Dune, so
Dan.
yeah, that's on the table.
And there's some obvious inspiration there from Dune, built into the Talarn Desert Raiders. Absolutely.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool.
Love it. Yeah, we could go like Death Valley or somewhere else. We can go out of state and film somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, that would be so cool. There's a lot of ideas I have about that. I don't want to like run myself up too much,
right?
Because I'm gonna get too excited about it.
We need to stay focused on the project we have right now.
Yeah, one thing at a time. Rick, yes, I think the flashlights and stuff like that would add a lot. So if we do something like that where it's at night, we'll probably figure out some kind of light attachment that can go on the las guns. And Stringstorm, yeah, he's actually Stringstorm's actually a part of the Discord that I'm with the other 40k curators, and he is fantastic. He's a really cool guy. He's a nice guy. So yeah, that would be it. We've gone over our time quite a bit.
Mhm.
If there's any, do we have any more questions? I'll give like 5 more minutes to see if we have any more questions. Um, I really want to thank everybody for joining us on the live stream today. I think it went pretty well. Got a lot of questions answered. Um, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. Liking and commenting and interacting with us is the only way the YouTube algorithm is not brutal. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Make sure you go like Bulldog Props on Facebook. That's Cameron's and his wife Jasmine's. But oh my gosh,
Kenyon, bro.
what? What is Kenyon S? Goodness.
My goodness, man.
I don't
You're
even.
amazing. Dude, thank you so much.
I don't.
I think that's going to go to another flight suit.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I literally have to buy another flight suit.
Yeah. We were just having a conversation about buying a second one anyway.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, that's nuts, guys. Y'all are too much, to be honest. It's no longer questions. It's now money.
That's not what this was about. We just
That's
wanted
not-
to, talk a bit.
That's not what this is about. We just wanted to answer questions because there's, like I said, there's 1,600 comments.
Yeah.
So it's hard to answer everybody's questions, and we might do like a monthly live stream, I think, with me and Cameron, and maybe get another person in every now and then. So it just depends on if there's lots of questions coming in and stuff like that. And I do want to do some fireside chats with Patreons specifically, so that would be cool, I think. And as far as Stringstorm, will Stringstorm make any music for the videos? I don't think so. To answer that question, I think he makes really fantastic music, but I have been working with Legio Symphonica as long as I've been working with Cameron on this project. I'm really good friends with Legio Symphonica at this point in time, and I owe him a lot. I don't see myself working with anybody but Legio Symphonica. And actually, I'm so terrified I'll pronounce his name wrong, and I know I'm going to. Fako, he is excited about part 2. He is super excited about part 2. He's hyped. He's already got the name for the song. Yeah, and he really is just like, he literally asked me the other day. He goes, "What's next? Are you ready for part 2?" I was like, "Hold on, we got to get the suit built first."
Yeah. The suit would be pretty easy though. It's
I really think it's going to be easy.
One of the big deals with the Guardsmen was my wife custom sewing all of those.
Yeah.
No, she got a sewing template for some like a parade dress uniform, but she made a lot of alterations to it. The pleating for the skirt portion of the jacket, making the shoulders fit better for everybody, and then also all the custom sizes. Like it wasn't just like a one size fits all.
Yeah.
We had to take get a list of sizes that were needed. So she had to make like several smalls, mediums, and larges.
Yeah. It was a lot.
And then we get suited up. There's one guy like barely fits in the large. It's like, oh my god, how are we gonna figure this out?
Dirk. I was actually just talking to Dirk about that, and he was like, I was like, "How tall are you, Dirk?" He goes, "I'm like 6'5", and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "We got to buy a suit that's gonna fit Dirk." And he's like, "But that's not the problem." He said, "It's my wingspan, which is
it's
like
the shoulders."
Well, it's like how long his arms go. He's like 7 feet.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, 7 feet in arm length! Like that's
a pterodactyl.
That's nuts." But anyways, so again, thank you for everybody who donated to the chat. That's not really what I didn't expect that, but I do unbelievably appreciate everything you've done. We're gonna go ahead and hop off. Thank you again. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and check out the channel update video if you want to learn about the other projects that are non-40K related. And if you want to participate in that, check out the Patreon. There's early access to that as well. But thank you so much again from me and Cameron both. Anything you want to say, Cameron?
No, you said it all. Thank you so much for everybody for listening to us, submitting your questions, and for the donations. Like Seth said, that was definitely not anticipated at all. We were just here to talk to you guys and talk about the channel, about the work we've done, and the future of this project. Definitely did not expect that, but yeah, like we said, that money is going to go straight into it. It's going to do a lot of good to acquire more costumes, more
Yeah.
props. Because we're not making any, like I'm not making any money off this. It's purely just like the money goes into it. Like every penny is spent on making stuff. It's buying resin, 3D printer filament, foam, etc.
Buy it.
Anything that may be needed.
Buy an airplane seat from a
Buy an
junkyard.
airplane seat, exactly. Like, it is all going straight into it.
Oh man. But anyways, thank you so much for everything y'all done, and we will see y'all later. I'm gonna go ahead and end it.